Hey, Year Sevens. So in yesterday's lesson, we looked at some of the vocabulary around probability and started talking about some of the different types of ways of referring to and talking about probability. In today's lesson, it's a pretty easy one, but we're going to be looking at sample space, which is one of the vocabulary words we used, and also equally likely outcomes. So to get started, a sample space is a list of all the possible outcomes for an event. All outcomes are written inside brackets. So when we look at our first example, we got tossing a coin. So with a coin, your sample space is heads and tails. So as I'm going along here, I want you to be filling this out. You have the same slideshow as I have. So please make sure as I'm going along, you are completing this as I'm filling this out. So one way to write this is as I have. So you would write sample space is, you'd write the curly brackets heads and tails as your two different possibilities, and then you close the curly brackets. And if you're not great at drawing the curly brackets, another way you can do this is you could say S equals for sample space equals a round bracket H, comma, T. And that would be another way to say the exact same thing, so that your sample space is H and T. So bracket H comma T close bracket. So if we look at another sample space, tossing an octahedronal or 8-sided die, octa meaning 8, and hedron meaning face or side. So that's kind of where that word comes from. If you have an 8-sided die, your sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, if you wanted to, you could also list that as S equals bracket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and close bracket. And that's how you would be able to easily do that one. Selecting a marble from a bag with red, blue, black, white marbles. Sample space would be obviously red, blue, black, and white. If you were going to be doing this in short form, like we've been talking, or like I've shown you, you have to be careful because the first one would be easy. You could do red. But then after that, blue and black both start with letter B, so you might want to go with like a B-L-U, B-L-A, so you know the difference between a blue and a black. And then you have your W for white, and that would be fine. If you had inside your bag, you had, I'm just going to do this over here. If you had in your bag, you had 4 red and 6 blue and 8 black. You don't actually have to write the numbers. You could just simplify that down to S equals red, blue, and black. So now that I've kind of gone through this, what I'd like you to do is you can continue on and you can practice what we've kind of gone through and complete the samples right here. So make sure to complete those examples by clicking on the boxes and typing in your answer. Again, 4 and 5, the same idea for this one. Please draw lines to connect the A to whatever you would think corresponds to this side. So you can draw arrows using the Google Slides tools to be able to do that, so that's no problem. Again, this one, I'm going to use this diagram right here to help you complete the questions as well, okay? So that should be pretty straightforward. And the other thing that we had talked about was equally likely outcomes. So equally likely outcomes are 2 or more results that have the same chance of occurring. Exact same chance based on probability. So for each of the following, state whether each of the sample space is equally likely to occur. So tossing a coin, our options would be heads and tails. And in that case, would each of our possibilities or options have an equal chance to likely occur? And yeah, yes, it would. If it's a completely true and fair coin, yeah. Same thing with the die. If it was a true die or a fair die, not one that was kind of rigged or set up, your sample space there would be rolling a traditional die would be 3, 4, 5, and 6 would be our sample space. And would we have an equal chance of rolling all those? Yes, yes we would. Next one, the result of a cricket game between two teams. So initially you're probably thinking, well, you've got team 1 and team 2. So really, that's statistic or by probability, it would be very likely that they each have an equal chance to win the cricket game. But in reality, if you think about it, well, if you had a cricket game between a bunch of people who had no idea how to play, like myself, versus people who were professional cricket players, it wouldn't actually be a fair or equally likely chance to occur. For example, like if we play ice hockey, and you guys all put on skates, and me and my friends put on skates, we all played each other. It wouldn't be actually a fair or have the same chance of winning because the one team is much better at the sport than the other team. Just like rugby. If you guys were going to play a rugby against me, you would destroy me. I have no idea what I'm doing with rugby. I don't get it. I've never played it before in my life. I can really even drop kick the ball. And so in that situation, the two teams aren't actually fair. So that would be an example of not equally likely. Selecting a card from a normal pack of cards. So if you listed all 52 possible cards, selecting a card from the normal pack of cards, yeah, this would have an equally likely, your chance of selecting an 8 of spades versus a 9 of clubs have an equal chance. So when you go through these questions, make sure that you're familiarizing yourself with dice and the amount of dice. Also make sure that with these questions, you do familiarize yourself with a deck of cards. Number one, make sure you are aware of colors. Make sure you're aware of suit. Make sure you're aware of the number of cards in each suit. So the total number of cards in the deck. In this situation, we don't have jokers included, so we're just at 52. If we included jokers, it's sometimes 54. Make sure you know how many face cards you have as well. Think about color, and so these would be just pieces of information to have, quick at hand that's going to help you be more successful. So again, make sure you go through this slide and respond to these questions here. Again, make sure you go through the slide and enter here. Fun Canada fact: $2 coins are called toonies. Not lying. And $1 coins are called loonies. Your Loonies, or my O's look kind of like crazy sixes. There's a fun Canada fact for you. We don't even have 50-cent coins in Canada either. And we don't have 20-cent coins either, actually. We have 25-cent coins with a caribou on it. We call it a quarter. But anyways, make sure you go through these questions and answer them, and then click turn in when you're done. I hope this is helpful. Take care.